Hello everyone, again, and now first questions, but what would it be today? Wait a minute. Now, this I actually got because of Project X Zone. Some of the characters Project X Zone appeared in this game, and that is Super Robot Taisen OG Saga Endless Frontier. It's a mouthful. Published by Atlas for America. This is a Bandai Namco title that is very similar to Project X Zone, actually. Of course, starting off with the packaging, we get a code booklet to introduce us to our lovely cast of over-sexualized characters. Seriously, Project X Zone, this character is way too over-sexualized, and she's way too over-sexualized in this game. Actually, fair warning, if you're not really into boob jokes all the freaking time, this game's all the way going to annoy you, because they are fucking everywhere. And actually, it is possibly subtly hinted that the main character's father may have accidentally mistaken her as a hooker. Okay, so unrealistic women's aside, these two characters specifically are in Project X Zone as far as I've played. Any others, don't know. Well, actually, there are some more characters, Cosmos, and these two from Namco X Capcom, which was only in Japan, also appear in this game. As far as I understand, this is actually their first appearance in America, so woohoo! The booklet just mainly goes into detail for everything else. It is in color though, so that is always lovely. So, like I said, there was a lot of similarities to actual Project X Zone here. But it's also radically different in different ways. First thing, it's not a tactics RPG. Everything outside combat plays like a normal RPG. Ooh, bless me. Sorry. Plays like a normal RPG. You move around the map, you enter places, you buy, you sell, and you talk to people, you progress the story, and go through dungeons, and solve and break things for treasure. Pretty normal RPG mechanics outside. In combat is where it starts drawing comparisons to Project X Zone. Combat works very similar, but is also different. Obviously, the random encounters as opposed to what, like in Project X Zone, you attack, everyone gets all these attacks, and bam, your turn's over. And then, they can either counterattack, or when they it's their turn, they attack you. It's all a turn-based random battle that you have to complete in one segment. There is a turn order, which is very important for the crossover attack system that's in Project X Zone in this game. So, like Project X Zone, you have your character whose turn is, they do all their combo shit, and then you can have somebody come in and then do all their combo shit, as opposed to Project X Zone where they just come in and do a attack. They can actually do their full turn in combination of your character that started the combat action. However, this can only be done if one of your allies is the next person on the turn list. So if the enemy's next, you won't have a person be able to join you in your combat turn. So there are a lot of draws. It does have a lot of similar uses like with SP like in Project X Zone. And it does have items, and just like Project X Zone again, it also has the hyper overmove things that you can do once you charge. But however, it's not connected to SP like it is in Project X Zone. It's its own thing, which if you don't mind me looking incredibly quickly for the terminology they used for overdrive. There's a separate little battery kind of shape thing that slowly charges. If it gets to 100, which it'll become max, the current character you're fighting with can do an overdrive move. And, you're in combat and you mosey on along. As for questions, to be honest, it really reminds me way too much of Project X Zone, which makes it really hard to talk a lot about. I do have to really throw out there, though, if the whole tactics RPG thing and the lack of a story or a cohesive story bothers you in Project X Zone, this might be a much more appealing game with a similar battle system, because it being outside combat, like an RPG, a normal RPG, much more. And it seems to have a more cohesive storyline, even though it still dabbles a little in multi-dimension universes. So far, it seems a little more cohesive, but it could also go the same route too, because it is connected to the Namco X Capcom game on the PS2 to a certain degree. So far, it's looking a little more cohesive. As I had always said, get ready for that one character, who's a princess, by the way, the most densest princess in the universe. And she is strong, by the way. She is strong. She is a very good fighter. But, everyone just takes cracks out. Even the women take cracks at her. It's like, good lord, she is a walking boob joke to everyone in this game so far. And while in Project X Zone, the two characters that are unique to this game that appear in there only had a small appearance so far. I haven't actually really ran into them. They got their own little prologue chapter, and then they haven't reappeared yet. I'm in like chapter 10 or 11 in Project X Zone now. But I really feel when they actually join the party, if they're going to be as relentlessly insane like this. And I can bet you Frank West is pulling out his camera and taking a picture of that, since he's been doing that to every fucking female evil villain character. Well, not every villain. Some of them have been good guys. But either way, he's been doing it like everyone in Project X Zone. It's like, good lord, man. Put the camera away. I mean, it's not like you do that all the fucking time in your own game. Sheesh. Way too much over sexualization, for goodness sakes. Oh my goodness. But, yeah, if the really lowbrow jokes don't bother you as much, this actually might be a much more interesting game to you if Project X Zone wasn't. If you really love Project X Zone, I would recommend checking out this game too. Very similar combat system. Obviously, like I said, there are changes, little nit things there and there. It was a quick first impressions, but it looks good. And it's on the original DS, and I could even do a Let's Play of it, possibly. That actually could be an interesting idea, too. Either way, this, I think, should be pretty short, 8 minutes. Yeah, this is a pretty short little first impressions compared to my usual blah, 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 blah. But it's hard to really say a whole lot when I kept comparing it to everything in Project X Zone. So, anyway, if you play this game, feel free to let me know what you thought about it. Or if you have any questions or comments or anything about the game, feel free to leave a comment. And I will see you all next time. And Cowgirl. Nah, you'd have to play Project X Zone. You'll get it.